In 2010, the city of Kyiv saw the publication of a comprehensive medical manual that challenges standard academic boundaries. The book, Secrets of Healing and Herbal Magic, represents a collaboration between Ingvar, a practicing physician and herbalist, and Raokriom, an esoteric consultant and journalist. The text carries formal state credentials, including the classification code UDK 615.89. UDK 615.89 is the standardized bibliographic designation for physical medicine and therapeutics. The table of contents reveals a stark divide. One chapter details protocols for ischemic heart disease, while the next outlines magical whispers. This presents a challenge. Can a text provide botanical treatments for kidney inflammation, while simultaneously offering spells to manage a difficult mother-in-law? Resolving this tension requires a framework of dual epistemology, the simultaneous application of two distinct systems of knowledge to a single subject. These astrological and magical frameworks function as a symbolic operating system used to categorize observable pharmacokinetic properties. Pharmacokinetics is the branch of pharmacology that studies how the body processes and moves chemical substances. To categorize these esoteric elements as mere folklore is to misunderstand the specific way this medical data is functionally encoded. The primary author, Ingvar, rooted his practice in the Medical University of Donetsk, which explains the clinical rigor found throughout the work. Section 4, dedicated to healing recipes, departs from the generalities common in many traditional herbal guides. Many folk traditions rely on panaceas, substances claimed to cure a wide range of unrelated ailments. This manual instead treats the human body as a complex arrangement of isolated biological systems. Under the broad category of digestive diseases, the text branches into highly specific pathology notes. It maintains a strict diagnostic separation between an acute condition and a chronic one, such as the two distinct forms of gastritis. There is a similar structural divide between functional disorders like biliary dyskinesia, where the gallbladder fails to empty, and the severe organ degradation of liver cirrhosis. Addressing these specific physiological targets requires botanical agents with equally precise biochemical profiles. Because the text relies on a modern understanding of clinical pathology, we must evaluate its botanical prescriptions through the lens of pharmacognosy. Pharmacognosy is the scientific study of medicinal drugs obtained from plants or other natural sources. Section 1 provides detailed descriptions of medicinal properties, specifically focusing on plants that target the cardiovascular and central nervous systems. Adonis vernalis, or spring Adonis, serves as our first case study. The text claims that Adonis regulates heart activity, dilates blood vessels, and lowers central nervous system excitability. These traditional claims align with the presence of cardiac glycosides in the plant. A cardiac glycoside is a class of organic compounds that increase the output force of the heart and decrease its rate of contractions. In a clinical setting, these glycosides trigger vascular dilation and stabilize the pulse, directly reflecting the manual's observations. We see a different biochemical profile in Aralia manchurica, or Manchurian Aralia. The manual identifies Aralia as a powerful central nervous system stimulant used to treat physical exhaustion, clinical depression, and asthenia, a state of chronic weakness. Modern science classifies Aralia as an adaptogen driven by alkaloids. Alkaloids are naturally occurring chemical compounds that produce potent physiological effects on humans, in this case, direct stimulation of the central nervous system. These practitioners are modulating the human autonomic nervous system through the deliberate application of potent plant biochemistry. This precision raises a question. If the biochemistry is so clearly understood, why categorize these plants by zodiac signs and planetary alignments? A traditional practitioner faces a logistical hurdle. Without a digital database, they require a reliable method to systematize and recall hundreds of complex chemical interactions. The treatment of Valeriana officinalis clarifies how this organizational method works. The manual applies valerian to conditions including hysteria, epilepsy, tachycardia, and severe neuroses. Pharmacologically, the plant contains valipotriates. Valipotriates are specific chemical compounds that function as central nervous system depressants and antispasmodics. Valerian's biochemical profile is cataloged according to its perceived nature. In the manual's astrological framework, it falls under the Moon and Venus, categories that represent soothing, hypnotic, and calming influences. Conversely, plants that increase heart rate or induce sweating are assigned to Mars or the Sun, reflecting their stimulating properties. This creates a symbolic architecture for medical data. These planetary and magical categories serve as a functional, encoded database. They ensure the safe identification and dosing of potent alkaloids and glycosides in the absence of laboratory equipment. The manual's internal logic connects harvest to application through a tripartite structure. The physical plant provides the active constituent, the chemical weapon. The clinical pathology provides the precise target. The esoteric framework operates as the conceptual map, ensuring the correct pairing of agent and disease. Modern analysis often instinctively separates magic from medicine, treating them as mutually exclusive systems. To understand traditional healing, we must read its dual epistemology. This magic functioned as a resilient conceptual vessel, safely preserving empirical, life-saving pharmacological data for transmission across generations.